Hi everyone. Today I'd like to talk to you about a book that I got quite a while ago, but which I haven't read for the time being. I think it's a book that's really good for this trying time nowadays because it offers a lot of lessons that are approachable. It's a easy read. It's quite short actually for such a book, for such a self-help slash scientific book. It's around 230 pages long. It's called Option B. I read it in Polish as the example picture here. It's co-written by Sheryl Sandberg and Adam Grant. I think Sheryl Sandberg is most known for being one of the vice presidents of Facebook, working directly with Mark Zuckerberg. And Adam Grant is a book writer and lecturer at Walton Business School. His main area of expertise is teaching people how to be resilient, how to lead by example, really focus on leadership and positive qualities of the world. And this book is really about learning how to progress from traumatic situations, abuse, all the negative things that can happen to you. It's written a quite interesting way. You follow the life of Cheryl, who recounts the traumatic death of her husband, who left behind her with two small kids. And Adam offers a kind of a third person disembodied body summary to all the scientific research, which is quite interesting, I think. The book is very well researched. The bibliography itself, so the book is this thick, it's around 320 pages, as I said, and the bibliography itself, or the research papers, or the research notes, is this thick compared with this part. So, it's a very well-researched book. You can learn quite a lot. There are also always additional books or additional resources that you can read up on, and all the claims are backed up by science or, social sciences papers. And to me, the book is really valuable if you are looking for ways to grow from trauma. It's a skill I think that people can really learn over life and only through bad experiences, including myself within that group, definitely. And it's a book that really makes you ask yourself what you were doing, how you were doing, and it's a sort of book that you have to really read and have a lie on it, and sort of just focus on what you think your answers should be, etc., etc. It's not an easy book in the sense that it's quite small, as I said, 230 pages. It took me around 2 or 3 weeks to read it because I really wanted to focus on the lessons there. Really, it's kind of book that is not something that you can easily talk to other people about because it's so personal, and you have to do a lot of deep inside soul searching sort of focus to be able to benefit from it. One of the things that I really enjoyed from the book was definitely the role of 3Ps that can help you put yourself in a space where you're going to grow from the experience, however traumatic it can be. Of course, it's different for different people. Usually, white trauma survivors cannot, move on, come back to normal life, however you want to phrase it, because trauma will always be in the background for you. It's always going to be in the back of your head, no matter how much you move on from it. It's not gonna be erased, and it's not gonna just poof, magic away or something. It's because they do not have the support network that you need, that you are not within the time or space to think through what happens to you, and you may just run away from the trauma because it's easier than to face it. And all answers are okay. It's a very personal topic, and I think such books are quite rare to find. Really, you don't usually speak to other people about it, or the less actively look for ways to be like, how can I use my trauma to be better? Like, that's not usually a way you think about trauma anyway. So the rule about 3Ps is that trauma is usually portrayed as being personalized. It's quite personal in the sense that um, You think that it's only befalling you. You could have things, you could have done things to prevent it. You could have planned for it. You could have done so many things differently so that it wouldn't happen to you. And overall, you just guilt yourself into thinking that it's your responsibility that it happened. Whereas most of the time, trauma has nothing to do with, the way you're leading your life, the way you're doing things, the way you're living your life. A lot of it is random. For example, illnesses, accidents, um, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you have no control over. You might think, there's some logic behind the scenes, however you want to phrase it, but most of the time it's random, and you can't really plan on it. Second P is definitely how popular it is. So you believe that the trauma or the traumatic experience is only your experience. You think as if you're the only one going through it. You cannot picture, other people with the same problems, whereas in most cases there are loads of people going through the same thing. There are loads of people you could talk to, but perhaps you're not in the right place, you're not in the right space of mind to be outgoing to people and, actively pursuing them to talk to you. Or you might, think that it's such a rare thing that you are the only person in the world, which is never true. However, however bizarre it might be, it's never true that you are alone. You're never alone, and there are always people that are going through a similar thing or have dealt with it. Perhaps they're not speaking out loud about it. Perhaps you do not have, a strong enough kinship with them for them to be upfront about what's happened to them, or you are not in the right location for conversations to take place. Um, the third P, and I think it's very, very important, is permanence. That you believe that trauma and its effect is going to be permanent in your life, that you are never going to be happy again, that there is no life of the trauma. Whereas life goes on, life goes on, and I think it's really hard for people to imagine being in a different place, 10 months from the experience, 6 months from the experience, whereas most of the time you actually end up being happier, um, in the long term. But I think with trauma, it's really, really hard to imagine being on the other side because you keep reliving your life before it. So you focus too much on how it was before the event happened, however big or small it might be, and not the immediate aftermath, which is, I think, is crucial to be able to move on and be able to live with the experience because it's not going to magic away. It's always going to be back there inside your head or in your memories. Unless you have PTSD, of course, so it's a bit different situation then. But it's not permanent in the sense that, even a handicap, even illness, um, it means it's going to be different. It doesn't mean, you know, nothing will ever be the same. There's a poem that I really like that, there are never twice the same look, the same kiss, the same event. It's never going to happen the same again. And you keep thinking, if you're, especially in a traumatic situation or after it, that your life would have been the same as if it had been before the event, which is never true. It's not going to be the same because your life cannot be pre-planned in Excel. What about you cannot make a plan for everything, and with permanence, you should be able to keep in mind that someday the rain clouds will part and there will be a rainbow or sunshine, even for like 5 minutes. It's gonna be there, even if it's gonna be raining cats and dogs for like 10 out of 12 months, for a month or a month and a half, you're gonna have sunshine, and you have to keep that in mind that happiness usually is not very linear. It's more about being able to feel very strong positive emotions in a short time of in a short span of time, not really being happy all the time, because then you've got sort of a flat line. Whereas happiness is more about being able to acknowledge the highs, thinking of the lows. So I think that's really good, and I like that lesson the most with the three Ps because it's easy to remember. It's easy to talk about as well. And overall, I really recommend the book. If not, if even if you're not going through traumatic experiences yourself, it's really useful to talk to other people about in the sense that you can really understand the frame of mind of people going through illness, for example, handicap, going through the death of parents, of family, and it really helps you to be a better friend, I think. It really helps you just frame some things that people wouldn't like to ask in public or ask personally, but it helps. It helps to frame it. So definitely recommend it. I hope you like the review, and I hope you give this book a chance because it's really worth it. And I hope you look forward to more reviews by books done by me because I've had quite some time to catch up on my reading and quite quickly to give it a summary and have a chance for you to see for yourself what it's all about. So thanks a lot, and I hope you have a lovely day or evening, whatever time frame is by you. Thanks, and see you soon. Bye.